UB Council Member Hayflick, President Tripathi, Dean Abramowski, distinguished members of the judiciary and guests, the candidates for degrees, the faculty, staff, and families of the candidates are assembled. I therefore declare the commencement exercises of the State University of New York at Buffalo School of Law to be officially opened. If you're able, please remain standing for the national anthem of the United States of America, as sung by Gabrielle Catherine Walter, class of 2018.
And I welcome those that would like to join me to please join me in singing our national anthem as we honor our great flag. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we've watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
That was beautiful. You may be seated. Please join me in welcoming Aviva Abramowski, Dean and Professor of Law at the University at Buffalo School of Law.
Thank you all for being with us here today as we celebrate the success of the class of 2018. Before we hear our words of welcome from the university's president, I'd like to welcome all of you here with us today and take a moment to acknowledge the special guests who have joined us. It is a long list. We welcome UB Council Member and alumna June Hayflick, UB Foundation Trustee and alumna Margaret Wong, Dr. Satish Tripathi, University President, the Honorable Lawrence Villardo, United States District Court Judge for the Western District of New York, the Honorable Jeremiah McCarthy, United States Magistrate Judge for the Western District of New York, the Honorable Eugene Piggott, New York State Supreme Court Justice and former Senior Associate Judge of the New York State Court of Appeals, the Honorable Gerald Whalen, Presiding Justice of the New York State Appellate Division, 4th Department, Honorable John Sentra, Associate Justice of the New York State Appellate Division, 4th Department, the Honorable Aaron Peredato, Associate Justice of the New York State Appellate Division, 4th Department, the Honorable Barbara Howe, the former Erie County Surrogate and now Senior Counsel at Woods Oviatt Gilman, the Honorable Thomas Franzik, former Erie County Court Judge and now co-director of the law school's Trial Advocacy Program, the Honorable Craig Hanna, Buffalo City Court Judge, Harry Bronson, New York State Assembly Member, Diane Bossy, Chair of the New York State Board of Law Examiners, John Flynn, the Erie County District Attorney, as well as members of our Dean's Advisory Council, our prestigious faculty, staff, and honored guests. With that, it is now my pleasure to introduce University President Dr. Satish Tripathi, who will deliver greetings on behalf of the university.
Good afternoon. I would like to offer a warm welcome and a heartfelt thank you to the parents, family members, and friends joining us today. Your graduates have come this far in no small part thanks to your thoughtful guidance and your study support. And today, we gather to recognize your graduates' achievement for the milestone it is and to celebrate the capstone for their hard work. With that, let me be among the first to wish the UB School of Law Class of 2018 congratulations. You have come a long way. Your journey to today has been marked by dedication and perhaps frustration, by study and self-reflection, by trial and error, and by more late nights than you may care to remember. Along the way, you embraced new modes of thinking. You debated issues from different angles. You transferred your classroom learning to real-world challenges. You found your purpose and you pursued your passion. Throughout this transformative process of enlightenment, you have gained priceless knowledge about your field of study and, just as important, about yourself. So if I asked you, class of 2018, to single out the most important aspect of your academic program that has brought your education to life, what would that be? Don't worry, it's not a test. But as you embark on the next phase of your life, it is a question worth pondering. Although it has been many years since I sat where you sit today, I would argue that our most profound learnings do not just take place in a lecture hall. We do not read them in a textbook or discover them inside a lab. They don't come to us out in the field. Truth be told, education cannot be captured in a single moment. It is ongoing, continuous, constantly evolving. And with every stride we take, we seek a true understanding of respect given, and of respect earned. Respect, compassion, integrity, and justice are cornerstones of UB's guiding principles. We respect each other even when we have divergent life experiences. We respect those we advocate for by treating them compassionately. And we respect what we have learned by putting those precious knowledge to the best use, namely to address society's most pressing problems. Your UB education truly, the entire scope of your UB experience, has elevated your consciousness about the world around you. It has primed your sense of civic, professional, and ethical responsibility, values you will tap every day of your life. It has stoked your sense of purpose, indeed, your sense of greater purpose. At the start of the academic year, we welcome to campus Malala Yousafzai, the education right activist who has earned respect the world over for her courage and her convictions. When Malala accepted the Nobel Peace Prize in 2014, she noted that the progress and development are happening only in certain parts of the world. However, Malala said, there are many countries where millions suffer from the very old problems of war, poverty, injustice. Malala continued by saying, let us become the first generation to decide to be the last that sees empty classrooms, lost childhoods, and wasted potentials. It is my sincere hope that your UB education has provided you with the intellectual resources grounded in respect, compassion, integrity, and justice to do not only good things with your life, but to do great things with your life. Throughout your education, you have already done much in this regard. For instance, we have witnessed how you have offered legal aid to immigrants and others in need, including residents of the hurricane-ravaged Puerto Rico, argued and debated with your peers and mentors on essential constitutional rights, and collaborated across disciplines to address issues of social justice. Your education here has set the stage for the rest of your life. It is your time to put your imprint on the world around you by contributing to the world around you. Class of 2018, I have every confidence that as you go out into the world, you will make it better, brighter place. We look forward to seeing the impact of all of your accomplishments. Congratulations on your great achievement and all the best wishes on the road ahead.
Thank you, President Tripathi. It is now my chance to also address the graduating class, and it is with immense humility that I stand before you today. I have only been here a brief time, but in that time I have gotten to know you, and you as a group and individually, are incredible. I am in awe of your passion, your professionalism, your drive, and your determination. You have and will continue to inspire me, for you are my first graduating class, and you have set the bar high for all those who will come after you. I could not be more pleased to be here today. For those of you who may not know, this class is an incredible group of people, giving thousands of hours of legal service through the clinics and many more thousands of pro bono service hours to our diverse constituent communities. Well done, class of 2018. Well done indeed. It's important to recognize that that passion is integral to your success as a lawyer and our needed work in these communities. But passion is not always enough. What is also necessary is purpose. And I know you have already seen that purpose, and I want to speak just a little bit about what I consider to be incredibly important, which is pro bono service. You don't know because you're graduating, but every admitted class in all the first years, I always ask the same question. What do you think pro bono means? And there's always someone who says, for free. It doesn't actually mean for free. Pro bono publico means for the public good. It means for the public good, and in the course of my own time as a lawyer, it has been for my own good. It has always been the pro bono work, the commitment to community, which has allowed me to renew my own love for the law. The moments where you stand there, often alone, before the incredible power of the state will remind you that as a profession, we do at times truly defend the disenfranchised and protect the fragile bulwark that we call the rule of law. Without law, there is only tyranny. And without the commitment of our profession to the provision of legal services for all, justice is all too often only available to those of means. So I encourage all of you to continue your commitment to work for the public good, regardless of the type of profession or practice you eventually settle into, and there will be many jobs and many professions over your life. Since the days of the straight-line career path, if they ever even existed, have now transformed something more from like a single-page scroll to a large book that represents life, a book of many different chapters. Each chapter is an opportunity for growth and an opportunity for service, an opportunity to live with purpose. But you are graduating law school, so complex, large books with many chapters should be completely familiar to you, okay? And I already know that you know what pro bono means, just like you know what res judicata, voir dire, and res ipsa loquitur mean. And you should, for without our reliance on ancient languages to name principles, we lose half our mystery. But more seriously, though you know what for the public good means, I know that because I have seen you exemplify it firsthand. Many of you have heard about our students' response to the tragedy of Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico. When this disaster struck, there was immediate philanthropic activity by the student clubs, and then the quick besieging of the dean's office. To do more, to respond as lawyers, to find a way for UB to offer up our best resource, you. You yourselves, the students. in the provision of legal services to the beleaguered residents of that afflicted, beautiful island. The Puerto Rico Clinic is just one of many examples of the commitment of all of you to justice. I have witnessed it through the work of all 9 of our outstanding clinical programs, through the work of our dedicated pro bono scholars, through the diligence and persuasiveness of each member of the Advocacy Institute, and through the many activities and events organized by our remaining student groups and ambassadors who volunteer their time and talent to provide opportunities to others. So, in just one short year, I have determined that you are good, but I've also determined you are tough. I have seen the countless hours of study, witnessed your dedication to excel, and have no doubt that in a few short months, when that pesky bar examination is in the rearview mirror, that every one of you will be on the road to a meaningful career as citizens of the world and as advocates. Your professors have prepared you, your families have supported you, and hopefully you are giving serious consideration to the place you will choose to start your careers. But no matter where you stand on that road right now, I know you've got this. You've got the grit and the determination to succeed wherever you may go. You are not only already tough, smart, and prepared, you are also compassionate, ethical, dedicated to the advancement of justice. And that is how it should be. For as I look back on my own first year here at UB, I have learned what differentiates us from many other fine educational institutions. I look at our seal and the bison, and it shows me, when I look at it, that you don't have to be a predator to be strong. You don't have to be a predator to be brave. You don't have to be a predator to be tough. A simple observation all too absent from other corners of our society. And like the bison in our seal, it is certainly easy to be proud. For I am proud of you. The assembled guests here are proud of you. Your families and your communities are proud of you. Proud of our successes and proud of our collective values, we strive to live in our own lives and as we make our professional choices. There will be many personal and professional challenges as you commence from here along the trail of your lives, but you've got this, you're prepared. Finally, it's important, truly important for you to know that you are not now and never will be alone on that road. You now join a storied group of alumni who have gone before you, who are also prepared, tough, strong, and proud. They have trampled down some of that underbrush to smooth your way and built those bridges to help you across those waters. As of today, you move from student to alum. The UB Law will always be your home. This will always be your place. And in a very few years, you might be sitting on this stage, accepting an honorary degree or the Dean's Medal. Actually, knowing some of you, I have no doubt that one day you're going to be on this stage. I hope I just lived long enough to see it. So this is not goodbye, graduates. This is only until I see you guys again at either a Gold Group member or out in the community, because at the end of the day, we are so proud of you, and we will advance the legal community together with strength and with pride. But that's for later. No need to rush through all the chapters of life. Until our next meeting, graduates, congratulations again, class of 2018. I now invite President Tripathi back to the podium for the conferral of the honorary degree. Get this out of your way.
We take time at commencement to recognize noteworthy achievements of members of our larger UB community. Traditionally, we award State University of New York honorary doctoral degrees to distinguished individuals whose accomplishments and contributions are of special significance to UB and Western New York. These honorary degrees, proposed by our campus and authorized by the SUNY trustees, are conferred on individuals who represent the highest ideals of the university at Buffalo. It is now my pleasure to confirm our 2018 State University of New York honorary doctorate. Would our recipient, Margaret W. Wong, please come forward at this time? One of School of Law's most distinguished alumni, Ms. Wong received her law degree from UB in 1976. Since that time, she has built her law firm into one of the country's most sought-out practices for matters related to immigration and naturalization. In the process, she has earned the highest respect of her peers for her tremendous expertise in this highly regulated area of law. For all of her professional success, Ms. Wong is just as esteemed for her philanthropic spirit and her giving nature. An immigrant herself, she came to the United States from Hong Kong on a student visa. After working her way through college, she received full scholarship to the UB School of Law. Ms. Wong has returned the generosity shown to her many times over, with gift to her alma mater that has supported an endowed full professorship in the law school and a scholarship program that has to date provided scholarship for 15 UB law students. Ms. Wong has demonstrated her commitment to UB in so many ways, from mentoring students to serving as a longtime member of the UB Law School's Dean Advisory Council to serving as a trustee of the UB Foundation. Through her distinguished career and her high ideals, she truly exemplifies the values and mission of UB. In recognition of Ms. Wong's substantial impact on her field of law, in appreciation of her steadfast commitment to improving people's life, and in gratitude for the countless opportunities she has created through her commitment to her alma mater, the University at Buffalo is privileged to confer upon her, on behalf of the State University of New York, a 2018 Honorary Doctor in Law. By the authority of the trustees and the Chancellor of the State University of New York and the Council and the faculty of the University at Buffalo, I now confer upon Margaret W. Wong the degree of Doctor of Law with all the rights and privileges thereto pertaining. In token thereof, I present a diploma and direct that she be vested with the hood appropriate to that degree.
Thank you so much. I'll try to be short. I used to clean toilets. I was a waitress. I didn't know the difference between a Manhattan. I thought it's Manhattan, New York. I didn't know there's a drink called Manhattan. I didn't know what's a Rob Roy. And it's 2 olives, 1 olive, 1. And I look at kids like you in 2018. You are awesome. And we will be a band of brothers and sisters, not only through the bar, but through our alumni office. We will be there for you. Anytime you feel down, you feel up, and you will. I'm entering my 5th decade of the law practice. I couldn't love them and love you more than ever. Always remember UB, because I could not have been here. They gave me a full scholarship. Those were the days when there's no foreign student, when there's no woman, there's no Chinese who speaks with a foreign accent, but UB took a risk on me. The first day I came in, I felt welcomed. I did not feel any discrimination. It could be we never talked about it. There was no sexual harassment. If there is, I didn't know about it. And it was an awesome, awesome experience. My own daughter graduated from here. Who could say that after 50, 65 years of being in America, I'm one of those legacy who used to be a waitress in the Catskills, and now I'm here. So we will be a band of brothers and sisters. Join us, join the alumni office, whatever you need, call me, call the alumni people. But I still think 1976 was the best year in UB, and I loved it. And I want you to say one day, 2018 is better than 1976. And thank you so much for coming, parents and family.
Congratulations, Ms. Wong, on this well-deserved honor. You may have seen today's next featured speaker, Terrence M. Connors, on television from time to time. It's a risk one takes when taking on some of the highest profile civil and criminal defense cases in Western New York. For 8 straight years, Mr. Connors has been ranked #1 by Super Lawyers magazine for upstate New York, and he is listed in the best lawyers in America in 9 separate categories. He is the recipient of multiple awards and recognitions and is an invited fellow of the American College of Trial Lawyers. His former partner, Lawrence Villardo, now a U.S. District Court judge, tells us, quote, "There is no one who's more talented, more prepared, who cares more about his clients than Terry. He's the best lawyer that I've ever seen. He works incredibly hard, he has deep compassion, and he has tremendous empathy for his clients." Who better than to serve as a champion for the School of Law's Advocacy Institute, a multifaceted program that trains our students in the skills of oral and written advocacy, as well as mediation and arbitration. Mr. Connors chairs the Institute's National Advisory Board, and he has been instrumental in recruiting support from some of the biggest names in the local and national trial bar. There is no substitute for the practical wisdom of longtime practitioners, and thanks to Mr. Connors, our institute is guided by the best. For those of you who are graduating today, this is one more opportunity to learn from a master of the craft. We are delighted to have as our commencement speaker today, Terrence M. Connors, and I welcome him to the podium at this time.
First and foremost, and much more important than anything that I will say, congratulations to the graduates. You are now our class of 2018. Enjoy the day with your family and friends. Pat each other on the back. You've certainly earned that. I have 10 minutes to tell you what your next 40 years are going to be like. I often think back 40 years and recall that if I had the ability to select a single profession and knew at the time I selected it that I would be successful, the profession I would choose in a heartbeat is the practice of law. Nothing could ever be second. Nothing could ever be close to that. Except maybe if I had an opportunity to be point guard for the New York Knicks. That was not in my future. But think about it for a moment. Think about what we are privileged to do. Think about what we have the opportunity to do every day when we work on behalf of our clients. Lawyers decide who are free to live in our society and who must be removed, sometimes permanently. Lawyers hold not only our fate in their hands, but those of our children, whether they come from broken homes or frozen embryos. It's lawyers that at the other end of life are making preparations and assisting those of the elderly to live out their days in dignity and independence. Our reach contacts all ages, all stages, and all people. Lawyers are, for the most part, the only group in our democracy that can litigate, mediate, and arbitrate among all functions of our government. In trade and commerce, it's lawyers that are the arbiters when individuals break their debt or involve themselves in issues that have to be litigated. It's lawyers who act as liaison and advocates between segments of society that you'd otherwise not have any access to. As a former president of the American Bar Association pointed out, we represent or mediate between a vast array of different and conflicting interests in society. Try to imagine a free and open democratic legal system like ours without dedicated and zealous lawyers. It simply wouldn't work. Which is why, in the final analysis, we lawyers cannot be motivated by whether we are popular or not. If popularity were the only yardstick, Plessy versus Ferguson would never have given way to Brown versus Topeka Board of Education. Lawyers at their best. Every day we have an opportunity to change people's lives, and even in the process affect a positive change in the law. It happens regularly and routinely. It doesn't matter, ladies and gentlemen, whether or not that change that you effect comes in a matter of high profile or in the closed quarters of your conference room. For those individuals that you speak for those individuals that you advocate for, to them it is the most important matter in their lives. Indeed, the moments in legal history and legal fiction, relished by lawyers and sometimes even the general public, are when lawyers have effected a positive change in the course of representing unpopular clients. Those who still speak favorably about our profession rarely leave the discussion without some reference to Atticus Finch, the Macomb County, Alabama lawyer, in the stirring novel written by Harper Lee, To Kill a Mockingbird. Incidentally, Harper Lee was a lawyer. But that novel tells us the story about a zealous, dedicated advocate protecting the rights of a black man accused of the rape of a white woman in the Deep South. Each turn of those pages, the hatred for him and his family is palpable, but he pressed on. When John Adams undertook the defense of the British soldiers in the Boston Massacre, an entire nation, young as we were, questioned his patriotism. But these were lawyers who understood zealous advocacy, who understood the commitment that we make when we pass these law school exams, when we take these robes, when we move forward in our lives. And although these lawyers at the time were scorned and ridiculed, they now bring us the greatest pride and respect for our profession. And make no mistake about it, what we do is a profession. It doesn't mean that we can turn a deaf ear to the criticism. We can't hide behind our principles of zealous advocacy and professional detachment. We are not amoral technicians. We have an ethical duty to improve the legal system and to strive for the ideal of justice. Some of you may have sleepless nights in your careers. I've had my share about the consequences of the actions you take on behalf of your clients. A drunk driver whose license you save may injure another. A doctor you defend may negligently harm a patient. A patent you helped to move forward could result in the injury to many individuals. But the time for righting these wrongs is not during the representation of your client. So long as you represent a client, you must do zealously within the confines of the law, whatever the consequences, whatever may follow. That's your obligation. That's what you accept today. I understand the cocktail chatter. I understand and have heard the inevitable questions of how can our moral compass permit us to represent individuals in certain circumstances. I've heard those questions and I've answered them many times. I understand that it's fashionable to claim that there are too many lawyers. Former Chief Justice Burger said there are too many laws and too much litigation. But even thoughtful Americans criticize us in essays and editorials. We are, they say, a brain drain to unproductive pursuits. We add nothing to the gross national product. We give comfort to industrial countries that emphasize the growth of the economy. Now, I know better, but I've been at this for a number of years. I'm aware that it's always the cynics who know the price of everything and the value of nothing. But I worry and I wonder as I speak to you young lawyers on the threshold of entering our society, a society that can offer criticism and sometimes hostility. Well, take heart. Don't fear. That criticism is neither valid nor new. In 1905, in an address to the Harvard Ethical Society, Supreme Court Justice Louis Brandeis warned, "It is true that at the present time, The lawyer does not hold as high a position with the people as he held 75 or 50 years ago. That was 1905. The book of Luke, even older, in the New Testament, first described the heavy burden that we lawyers must bear. We all know Shakespeare's words placed in the mouth of Dick the Butcher, the often quoted but clearly misunderstood exhortation in Henry VI. It was a compliment from the bard, not an applause line. Even Dickens, himself a lawyer, launched a strong attack on the legal establishment with the publication of Bleak House. In 1737, Benjamin Franklin chirped in Poor Richard's Almanac that a countryman between two lawyers is like a fish between two cats. At times, I have to concede, the criticism has been accurate, sometimes on the mark. The law has been abused, and by lawyers, to protect slavery, to deprive people of their rights, to tolerate exploitation, to mask justice for personal privilege. During the American Revolution, a good portion of our country's bar lined up with the British. But I'm here to tell you today that the path has always been upward, toward the light. That's the direction that we have taken. Never forget, it was a lawyer who resisted the Stamp Acts. Never forget, it was a lawyer who wrote the Declaration of Independence and the Rights of Man in France. I'm proud to say it was a trial lawyer who issued the Emancipation Proclamation. Of the 55 men assembled to write the Constitution, 30 were lawyers, an assemblage that Thomas Jefferson called demigods. Of the 39 who signed the final draft, 20 were lawyers. While doctors treated Benjamin Franklin's gout with leeches, we lawyers were crafting a timeless Constitution. Our ranks may have included some rogues along the way, but there have been a far greater number of role models, people who sat in the very equivalent of those chairs, people who sat in auditoriums just like this, people who graduated from our law school. These are men and women who understood that success is not judged by the accumulation of material possessions. These are lawyers who could not turn away from other people's struggles, because that is who we are. That is what we are. We are problem solvers. We are the lubricants and the solvents that take care of the frictions in a complex society. That's our special place. That's a place reserved for us in society. But just how do you get there? How will you accomplish that? Well, there's no set path. Many of you will blaze your own path. But here are a few lodestars to guide you along the way. Honesty and integrity. That should be the touchstone, the rule to the exclusion of all others. Your reputation starts from the first day you become a lawyer. It is far easier to gain a stellar reputation than to erase a bad one. Excellence of work product. Your client is entitled to no less. Trust me, clients appreciate effort even more than outcome. A client doesn't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And the best way to demonstrate to a client that you actually care about their case is to actually care about their case. I've always held to a personal definition of excellence. We stand on the shoulders of those who have come before us. We are largely a profession of precedence. But don't settle for how something has always been done because someone did it before you. 25 years of experience is not 1 year repeated 25 times. Take what you have as the template and make it better. Add your scholarship, add your creativity, add your knowledge in your industry. Because as you improve, we improve. Supreme Court Justice Robert H. Jackson, the namesake of our courthouse, had an interesting observation about excellence before the High Court. As I view the profession of lawyers who pass before the Supreme Court, he said he was often reminded of a parable. 3 stonemasons were asked, one after the other, what they were doing. The first, without looking up, answered, earning my living. The second replied, I am shaping the stone to pattern. The third lifted his eyes and said, I am building a cathedral. So it is with the men and women who labor before the Supreme Court. The attitude and preparation of some show that they have no conception of the effort other than to make a living. Others are dutiful but uninspired, trying to shape their case into a winning pattern. But, said Justice Jackson, it lifts up the heart of a judge when an advocate stands before the bar who knows that he or she is building a cathedral. Seek out a law practice that makes you excited. Seek out the work that makes you want to go to work every day, eager to find out what's going to be on your desk. It may not be your first job or even your second job, but find that niche that gives you the most gratification, the place that makes you eager to start every morning. Civility toward other lawyers, toward your staff, toward the court, and it goes without saying, toward your client. Civility is not a sign of weakness. We don't fight from our knees, but we fight within the rules of procedure and the rules of evidence, and we fight fairly. Professional education, continuing legal education, you owe it to your clients. Your education doesn't end with law school. Learn from others. There are many in this community who would gladly help you if you had a complex problem and want to discuss it. Seek out mentors. That's how we've all succeeded. We've found people that we aspire to be like, people that we know understand the concept of what it is to be a lawyer and how important it is to be able to help others. Seek them out. You'll get great guidance. Be resilient. Be resilient when things don't go your way. When you lose, don't lose the lesson. You'll always learn much more from your failures than from your successes. And it may happen. I hope not often. Keep what I call a feel-good file at your disposal. Collect notes that you receive from clients that are complimentary and supportive. When the days get dark, it helps to take a walk through that file and those grateful comments. More than 80 years ago, then Chief Judge Benjamin Cardoza of the State Court of Appeals, our highest court, said it better than most to the first graduating class of St. John's Law School. The law is what you and I are making it. That is the heavy burden of our calling. But that is also its unfading glory. That is the strain and the woe of it, leaving creases and scars on the faces of the veterans. But that is also the heartening appeal of it, reflecting light, joy, and hope in the faces of the new recruits, eager to join the fray and fill the ranks. Welcome, class of 2018, to the fray. Thank you very much.
No, you get an award too. Thank you, Mr. Connors, for being here today and for your inspiring remarks. Please accept this token of our appreciation. You get the buffalo. One day, I hope as dean, someone will give me a buffalo. I'm wait a few years. Please join me in welcoming Pietra Zafram, President of the Law Alumni Association, who will deliver greetings on behalf of our alumni.
They don't make these for short people. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the UB Law Alumni Association and the more than 11,000 alumni of this great law school, I would like to congratulate the class of 2018 on the monumentous occasion of your graduation. As the newest alumni in our ranks, you join a network of lawyers that reaches all over the country and even the world. In addition to our active membership here in Western New York, We have chapters in New York City, Central New York, and Washington, D.C., to name a few. Through this network of UB Law alumni, you'll be able to foster your existing connections and gain access to a support group like no other. Join us and take advantage of our alumni as a resource for employment searches, client referrals, mentoring, and more. Upon graduation, we now invite you to become a member of our association, where you will join our Gold, or Graduates of the Last Decade group. Our Gold group members organize CLEs, social events, food drives, and award alumni scholarships to law students, just to name a few of their many accomplishments. This year, our alumni took on the challenge of collaborating with the Career Service Office to take ownership of the new mandatory mentoring program for all first-year law students, assuring that all 144 1Ls have a mentor. Similarly, our newly formed Past President's Council took on a leadership role in providing mentoring and guidance to the 2L and 3L classes to assist in that transition from school to practice. As you can see, our members place a priority on giving back, from mentoring students to providing shadowing opportunities to observing attorneys and judges and assisting with the annual fund. Our alumni remain very engaged with the law school and supporting its mission. Now that you've joined our ranks, we ask that you too give support and give back to your alma mater. I extend an invitation for you to join us. For a nominal amount of dues, you are the beneficiary of a strong network of peers, free CLEs, and numerous other benefits. Now, in conclusion, I'd like to say that you're about to embark on a journey of a lifetime, practicing your craft in one of the greatest professions in the world. Without the rule of law, our democracy cannot survive and prosper. Go forth and make us proud, class of 2018. My advice to you, work hard, stay humble, be kind to one another, and think twice before you send that email. Congratulations and welcome to the club, graduates.
Thank you, Patty. Now please join me in welcoming Christian Casara of the class of 2018, who will deliver the student address.
Thank you, Dean Abramowski, honored guests, family, and friends. When someone first decides to apply to law school, a common reaction is the puzzled look, the furrowed brow, and the inevitable, why? That reaction is almost assuredly followed by the color commentary. That's all we need, more lawyers. Despite these refrains, all of us, for one reason or another, chose to embark on this journey. And it's why we are all seated here today. But the question of why a person chooses to pursue a legal career is not a trivial one. In fact, it's a question we grapple with throughout the course of our legal education. It's a question we'll confront in our professional lives as well. We've come a long way over the past 3 years. We learned how to read and brief a case, master the art of the cold call, or survive, depending on the professor, construct but never borrow the infamous law school outline, and tackle an issue spotter essay exam. We learned how to think critically, write persuasively, and perhaps most importantly, appreciate the difference between a Justice Ginsburg opinion and a Justice Scalia dissent. Our professors ingrain these skills in us, as they are necessary for traversing the unique academic environment that is the American law school. These skills were central to us making it to this point, and they will be central to us all passing the bar exam. But over the course of our time here, we have come to realize why these skills are truly important. what we can do in the world with them as professionals, and equally important, as citizens. In Gideon versus Wainwright, decided in 1963, Justice Hugo Black considered it an obvious truth that lawyers are fundamental to our constitutional system. However, we are living in a very different world today. Facts now seem suspect. Reading has become unnecessary. Ad hominem attacks abound. And those who disagree with us are now our personal enemies. This is a world that desperately needs citizens with the skills of the lawyer. The world needs citizens who can read and think critically. Citizens who can analyze a complex problem and break it down to reach the heart of the matter. Citizens who can calmly articulate a strong opinion. Citizens who can attack the argument and not the person making it. And citizens who can passionately disagree on the merits of an issue while remaining the best of friends. These are all skills that are tremendously lacking in our civic life today. We've worked diligently over the past 3 years to develop and nurture these skills. They do not come naturally. Learning them requires hard work and discipline, as we know all too well. Now, we have a significant opportunity and privilege ahead of us: the capacity to effectively address some of society's most pressing challenges: the boundaries of free speech, the future of administrative regulation, and the scope of the Fourth Amendment in the digital age, to name just a few. If we pursue this path responsibly, our world will be well served, not with fewer lawyers, but with more. I'm confident that we are all up to the task. It's been an honor spending the past 3 years with all of you. And today is a day to celebrate our accomplishment. Without a doubt, well-deserved. But when the partying dies down and the euphoria dissipates, we'll confront the reality that there are a lot of problems out there that need solving. Let's get to work.
Thank you, Mr. Casara. And now for the presentation of the Dean's Medal. The Dean's Medal is given at commencement to recognize individuals who have distinguished themselves by their commitment to justice and the rule of law. This year's recipient of the Dean's Medal is the Honorable Eugene F. Piggott, Jr., Justice of the New York State Supreme Court and former Senior Associate Judge of the New York State Court of Appeals. Judge Piggott, please come forward and join me at this time. Hello. It's a good day, right?
It's been a very nice day.
So, Judge Piggott is a familiar face in Western New York legal community, both on and off the bench, having been in practice himself earlier in his career. He understands the challenges of pursuing justice for one's clients. Judge Piggott made some hard calls as a member of New York's highest court, the Court of Appeals. When he reached the mandatory retirement age for that court, it may have been tempting to put away his robe and the responsibilities that came along with it. But it's an indication of his lifelong commitment to the court system, which is where justice plays out in our society, that he has returned to the Supreme Court bench. It is easy to overlook one of the most important tasks a judge faces every day: managing and expediting the often crushing caseload that comes before them. As the old saying goes, justice delayed is justice denied. Judge Piggott's innovations in this area, especially during his tenure as the presiding justice of the Appellate Division's 4th Department, have made the courts more timely and more effective. Justice and the rule of law have no more committed advocate. I am proud to present the Dean's Medal to the Honorable Eugene F. Piggott, Jr. Wait, you gotta wait, I gotta give you the medal. Yes, it's a real medal. Turn around. Okay. There we go, do it this way. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. It's your turn.
Thank you, Dean. I'm honored to receive this medal, and particularly because I know this is the first one in your hopefully long and distinguished career as the dean of this wonderful law school. I want to congratulate and thank particularly the parents, the families, the significant others of our students. I'm going to look right over their heads because you have encouraged these people and supported them on this long journey to become a lawyer. And this is a remarkable group of men and women who are now going to do that. And once they become lawyers, they will be representing, as Terry Connor so aptly, I wish you could get a transcript of Terry's remarks. It's about as good a description of the practice of law as I've ever heard, and it would serve you well, putting it in your happy drawer with all of the other things that go on. But this is a serious business, the practice of law. It's not a game. It's not just one more trip along your academic path. This profession is so important that you can't just go out and practice. You're going to have to face the judges of the appellate division, of whom we have several here today, including our presiding justice, Jerry Whalen. You can't just go. You have to. There's that little quiz in July, but after that, you have to pass the character and fitness committee, which I'm sure is just a walk in the park for all of you. But you have to talk to the judges, and they will ultimately swear you in. That's how important this is. And when you think about it, as Terry has so aptly described it, think about this. Where you will be working are buildings and courtrooms paid for by the people of the state of New York and the United States for you, for your clients. You go there for free because it's so important that we have a place for you to practice law and meet the government agencies that you're going to deal with, that they're provided for you for free. And in them are all of the people who are paid for by the taxpayers who will assist you and your clients in seeing that justice is done. And that's how important we consider this whole justice system. It's a remarkable system. It operates every day. Most people don't even see or hear of the cases that come before the various judges by these outstanding lawyers. But your tools, I'm talking to the parents, I'm sorry, the tools for your kids are the Constitution of the United States, of the state of New York, of the laws that are passed in Albany and Washington, D.C. These are the tools by which you will be operating for the rest of your life in doing this. This isn't like any other profession that there could possibly be. All of the venues are provided by the government, and you are subject to this judicial scrutiny, which tells you how important this is. Everyone that I have met, and I've met a number of your sons and daughters who are part of this class, have proven themselves to be outstanding. I think they could have gone to any type of school they wanted to. They chose to be lawyers. It is to our great benefit that these outstanding men and women have chosen this profession. And so I congratulate you, the parents and the families of these people. I congratulate our new lawyers-to-be, and I thank you, Dean, for this wonderful, prestigious honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Judge Piggott.